him say something real quick, I want you guys to listen up. All right? Listen up. And then after that, we won't have a poem done by our poet that's here today, Mr. JT. All right?
All right. How's everybody today? Good, good. I'm glad to be here. My name is Larry Ham. I'm the chairman of the People's Organization for Progress, which is a grassroots organization that fights for racial, social, economic justice and peace. Y'all probably seen us protesting on TV, protesting against police brutality, protesting against people being evicted from their apartments and from their homes, protesting for better education. So I just want to say I'm glad that we're celebrating Dr. King's birthday, and I hope we keep alive the revolutionary message that Martin Luther King had. Martin Luther King didn't die a natural death. He was assassinated. He was assassinated because he was trying to fight for justice for poor people, working people, for black people. He started out in the fight against racism. I'm old enough to have lived through the era when Jim Crow racial segregation was the law of the land. Most of y'all in this yard not old enough to remember when you got on the train at Penn Station to go down south. When you got to Washington, D.C., the conductor would tell you, as he told my family, that you had to move to the rear of the train. Why? Because Washington, D.C. sat on the Mason-Dixon line that divided the North from the South. So in 1955, 1960, 1963, when you crossed through D.C. into Virginia, all those racial segregationist laws came into effect. You had to sit in the back of the bus, you had to sit in the back of the train, you couldn't live here, you couldn't work there, you couldn't eat over there. All those laws came into effect. Dr. King, after Rosa Parks sat in to protest, he started the Montgomery bus boycott. The black people in Montgomery boycotted the buses for 381 days. 60,000 black people refused to ride the buses, refused to ride the trains. And that brought an end to segregated seating on buses in Montgomery, Virginia. So then Dr. King continued to campaign, and in 1963, you know about the March on Washington. He gave the I Have a Dream speech, and he spoke about racism. But in that same speech, he talked about police brutality. And police brutality plagued us then, it plagues us today. When you look at the history books, who was enforcing the racist segregation? The police. Who was beating the civil rights protesters? The police. So Dr. King helped to get the movement going, and the movement got the Civil Rights Act passed in '64 and the Voting Rights Act passed in '63. But then Dr. King said, well, we can eat in the restaurant now, but we can't afford a hamburger. So he said, we got to fight against poverty. So he started the Poor People's Campaign. And he also protested against the war in Vietnam. And for those two reasons, that's why he was killed. Because he wanted to build a movement of all the poor and oppressed people to change our economic condition. Do you know that we are in worse shape today than when Dr. King was assassinated in 1968?
Yes, sir.
We are more racially segregated today, even though those laws don't exist, than we were then. There are twice as many poor people in America today as there were in 1968 when Dr. King was assassinated. And just like our people were protesting for their voting rights in the 1960s, they're trying to take our voting rights away from us today. Do you know that in this past year, they passed over 400, hear that? 440 laws to keep us from exercising our right to vote. So we got to keep fighting, y'all. Anybody that tells you this fight is over and that we done made it to the promised land, all you got to do is look around and say, that's not true. we got to keep fighting. We got to build a movement. We got to build a movement against racism. We got to build a movement against police brutality. But we also got to build a movement for affordable housing.
Yes.
That's
We
right.
got to have a movement for a living wage. You know what the minimum wage is in America today? $7.25 an hour. You can't pay rent for a single bedroom apartment on $7.25 an hour anywhere in America. We need a living wage. The average wage for the average person should be $35 an hour. If you're not making $35 an hour, you can't pay your rent. You can't pay your child care. You can't pay your car note, your car insurance. And we have to change that. We need a living wage, not a minimum wage. We need affordable housing. We need, look, all our kids, we sending them to college, right? But what they putting on our kids? They putting student loans on these kids, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 worth of loan. Why did they go to college? Because if they come home, they got a college degree, they get a job, they got to pay the bank $1,500 a month. Their brother that didn't go to college worked for UPS. He got more money in his pocket because he don't have a student loan. This country is rich enough to make college free for all our children. Nobody should have to pay to go to college. And if we can bail out these banks, you know, every time they go to war, they got $1 billion for Ukraine, but they don't have $1 billion for our schools. They got $1 billion for war. They got $1 billion to pay off all the student debt. And look at our hospitals. They've been closing our hospitals in our community. 25 hospitals been closed across New Jersey. A lot of people don't go to the doctor because they can't afford it. But do you know, right next door in Canada, right next door, you go to Niagara Falls, you step across the line, you in Canada. You know, in Canada, there is free health care. Nobody pays for health care in Canada. There's no such thing as medical debt in Canada. People go to the hospital, they don't have a bill, the hospital pay for their cab fare to get back home. This is the only country where we have to pay for medical care. So let's build that movement. Let's continue to fight against racism. Let's fight for economic justice. Let's fight for affordable housing, for free health care, free college, a living wage, not no minimum wage for all of our people. That's the way you keep Dr. King's dream alive. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Who next? Who the brother? All right.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
How y'all doing today? I'm MC John T. I'm from Asbury Park, New Jersey, and I'm a living testimony to the streets on the other side that these rappers these days glorify. A lot of rappers nowadays don't tell you the other side of that life. When you out there partying so hard and you getting caught up on them drugs and drinks, what could happen to you, how dark it could get. And I'm a living testimony of the power of God to bring you back from that darkness. So I'm going to speak a piece that I got today in honor of Dr. King and in honor of what's going on in the world today. It's called Neighborhood Watch. Because in this world, we got to watch our own backs, because they ain't going to watch it for us. I said, I see them looking and lurking in love with catching and slipping. They on the prowl like their purpose is putting people in prison. Analyzing our actions like they after our image to be a blemish at the finish when it all stops spinning. Since the beginning, the God fed the lies of the man. Through the sinister trials and triumphs, everything's changed. Was unified, not divided, blinded, born to be kings. Till the sirens of these tyrants came and took all our land. So sick and tired, no one fired. When they fired, he died. Seeing us strangled by strangers, still won't open your eyes? I wasn't there when they would hang us and not call it a crime, but I'm reminded of their hatred when they letting it slide. So I do this for my brothers on the block. I do this for my mothers being knocked and my fathers being shot. It's sad when it's caused by the cops, so now the neighborhood's on watch because their crimes won't stop. I said, I wonder will we ever be free? My brother's ducking the law, my mother's out on the streets. My father's RIP'd by that PD piece. If we carry our own, they'll be quicker to squeeze. It's on me, cause the world seems not to mind. I'm thinking about my baby girls, man, I got to grind. I've been going all day, no octagon, gonna stop the God. Signs is in the signs, boy, the time's arrived. I'm on a mission, I'ma make my name. The Lord gave me a vision, I'ma do my thing. Forever staying consistent as I maintain in my lane, making the world understand who I truly am. Cause I do this for my brothers on the block. I do this for my mothers being knocked and my fathers getting shot. It's sad when it's caused by the cops, so now the neighborhood's on watch cause the crimes won't stop. Ooh. I got one more piece. This one's called What's Going On. Cause a lot of these rappers, man, they tune into what's going on, but then they tune out when they get a little bit of money. So I said, I sit and wonder, when will the real finally arise? Society confining everybody out in their grind. Either selling the spit, cracking and stuck on repeat. Getting paid for bull scripts, but they won't pay me. It's cool, I'm in a class way ahead of you fools. Money and women make them drool and carry a tool. But for me, it's a booth with Pro Tools and Pro Crews, making moves, keeping it true, living to prove what? No matter, always do what you do. Live your life, don't let your life live you. I mean, if you got a dream, go hard in pursuit. Don't be what you not and do what they do. Do you, cause in the end that's all that's left when you fresh 6 feet with your hands on your chest. And that ain't your right hand on top of your left. So go ahead with yourself and leave the rest. Yo, everybody be acting the same. Everybody either slang or bang. What's going on? Everybody got hate in their veins. Chose their life, they live and complain. What's going on? Everybody been given a voice, but nobody making noise. What's going on? Man, I'm about to fill that void. We breathe it, it's not a choice. Look, if your homie said I'ma jump, would you follow? If he passed you the pump, would you fill it with hollows? If he told you a beat hard and you thought it was whack, would you still be the type to jump on that track? Man, so much for keeping it real. I guess bills with a deal will keep your mouth sealed. Instead of speaking what you feel, like I do in the stew. My first time in the booth, you can listen for proof. Hip hop, we're giving you a whole nother chance. Developing the academy and taking a stand. And everybody can't come, man, I don't give a damn. I'll dive in quicksand before I lose you again. Suicide, doors not needed to whip. If it run, park, and drive, then we taking the trip. Stacking the chips, a pack of the disc, then making the flip. And I'll rip the whole strip without grabbing the zip. What? Cause everybody be acting the same. Everybody either slang or bang. What's going on? Everybody got hate in their veins. Chose their life, they live and complain. What's going on? Everybody been given the voice, but nobody making noise. What's going on is I'm about to fill that void. We breathe it, it's not a choice. Look, no pressure, pride, and push it. They precious prizes, we took them. And everybody was looking and listening and understood it. See, I do what they could and it would have flowed. That's so phenomenal, take over the globe. Let's go. No more games and no sitting back. Forget the crack. Let's put working on these tracks. Everybody claim the hood is what it is and where it's at, but I'm trying to make it out, see what else is on the map. Places I never been, money I never spent, rides I never drove with brothers until the end. No longer let them pretend and claim they go win. You won't win going against me and my kin. So hold it, the whole clique sick and legit. Whatever it is, we do it till it's brought to an end. No more talking, time for me to take that walk. And when it's all said and done, at least say that I fought, and fought hard. Jersey.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody coming out today to support, for y'all holding this event, for Malichi's mission. We're gonna keep it going. Keep the dream alive. Stay focused, because you can do it.
Councilwoman Ruby Cotton, how you doing?
Yes, how you doing? This is absolutely a wonderful event today at MLK Mission, celebrating the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who last stop was here in Paterson, New Jersey, before he got assassinated. So I'm happy for the Brown family, April, and all her mom, her sisters, and her family and friends to put this together today to help MLK Mission and keep his mission dream going alive. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all.
God bless you, Councilwoman. Mark Fisher, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How you enjoying this big event?
Listen, anytime something for Malachi's mission, I met the young man 3 years ago, and little guy but a big heart. And his family, the Brown family, anytime they do something, I'm always there for them. I donated some hot chocolate and coffee urn tables, whatever they need, because this young man has a vision, and we got to get more of our youth on the same kind of a mission to build our community. So I'm here at 4th Ward. I'm always here. You know that.
Thank you, Mr. Monkfish.
Fishing for Paterson.
Yeah.
Always.
Sis City Shark, right?
Oh, you got to throw that in there.
Yeah. Sis
Gotta
City
do
Shark
that. There we
football
go.
team.
We coming.
Yeah.
We coming. Like Dion said, we coming.
Yeah.
He might be our mayor one day. So look, you gotta get this.